Well, as we're walking, Brother Eco kind of checks on Morven because Morven really hasn't had much time to rest from when he kind of got laid out. So Brother Eco kind of just walks over to him and asks him how he's doing and is he pretty much stable enough to continue going on?
Oh, yes, I am. Was able to use a potion now that gave me a potion, and I feel much better now. But any ill effects I may have, I am more than willing to shake off on the way. I do not want to get captured again.
So you guys are pretty much now on the move again?
Yeah.
Okay, alright.
Yeah.
Alright. So, Al, are you doing anything to, like, because you know the drow are on you, are you going to do anything to,
Well, I was going to ask you how tracking
Mhm.
works, just because I don't want to cross any path. Like, I mean, I know I can't tell where they are behind us, but I can tell if they pass through in front of us. So I want to make sure we don't, like, head right into them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you've, give me a, I guess it would be a survival. What would it be? Survival check, or would it be a nature check? I think survival is. Let me look real quick. I got too many game systems
Yeah,
in my
survival
head.
says to follow tracks, hunt wild game.
Yeah, survival is
etc. I think it's
tracking.
that one.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then nature is like identifying things and lore. Okay. Yep. Nature. Gotcha.
You want it in the
I want to.
in the
Survival,
dice
yeah.
tower?
You can drop survival in the dice tower, and this is basically to notice if you've detected them going past you, and this is also for kind of hiding the location that you found too, to where it doesn't look like it was disturbed at all. And you feel pretty confident that, well, first off, you know that you see no tracks for the Drowler ahead of you for now. And as for the camp that you guys were at, that little small alcove that you had found, and taking a short rest, yeah, you get that pretty well, pretty much covered up as well.
All right, guys. It looks like it's safe to go this way. It doesn't look like any drow would pass through here.
Yeah, and like I said, you guys are traveling through the Underdark, so I'm going to show you an image, which is, you guys don't see spiders right up above you, but, as you guys are venturing throughout and this portrait actually kind of, almost kind of represents the party, because I would figure that dwarf there is probably Edith with the beard.
And a redhead.
Yeah, I know. And it's hard to find a lot of redheaded dwarves that are female, but seeing that this one's turned around, we'll say that it is a female, because we can't distinctively tell. Shield's kind of in the way, But you guys are traveling through all these, dark corridors. I mean, spider webs everywhere, and you can see a lot of small spiders and some larger spiders, but nothing that's Lord of the Rings size, where it's going to try to wrap you up in a cocoon and save you for dinner later. And you guys are, everybody has dark vision, I believe, except for the halfling. We have a halfling amongst us that does not have, and that would be, I think it's Brother Echo, right?
Yep, I do not have. I do not.
So it is rather dark in this area, and you need to be able to see. Everybody else has dark vision, but you do not. So that is also something else that you guys probably should have talked about around the camp. So we'll kind of back up a little bit and kind of let you guys talk about that too, because that does have a that is also has a big effect on traveling through the Underdark, especially in these wide open caverns and where you can see one little torch or a sun rod kind of going around. You're going to draw the attention of some things, but there's areas where you're going to need lighting, because there's a lot of bioluminescent lighting as well that provides like a light, dim light in 5e. But it's you guys can kind of talk about that too real quick. Everybody's like, the halfling. We could have
I was
been
waiting for.
we could have been
I
fine.
can't see.
I can't see
Well,
shit.
Well, we're
If you
by,
would've stayed as a
we're by the
well.
campfire right now, so I can see while we're by the campfire.
Mm-hmm.
Do we just know that he is not going to be able to see, or is that something he needs to bring up to us?
No, that's
'Cause
that
it's
would be
natural
common knowledge.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I can cast Dancing Lights as a cantrip. Um, it's a little bit of dim light for like a 20-foot radius. If I just do one, I mean each light is 20-foot radius. So if I needed to, I'm kind of marching near him. All when we're single file, I'm marching near her. I could switch places in the 2-column marching order with Kira, and I could have some dancing lights kind of down, kind of have them low, closer to the ground, so they're not like up in the air. If we need to, but I think that we would probably need to move faster if we had a light source like that. Even something dim, any drow that are following us would really be able to see that. I mean, I don't know how. I'm sure these tunnels are kind of twisty and turny, so it may not be as big of a deal. But
yeah, they're not
I
all
can
wide
definitely
open
help out.
caverns.
And I imagine that given the amount of bioluminescent stuff, I should be able to easily find components like glowworms and phosphorus and stuff like that as we go to kind of keep the spell going. Because it's for the spell, it's a concentration spell and it's up to a minute, so I'd have to kind of continuously kind of keep it going if we're going through a portion where there really is no light.
Well, I'm also, as Morven just explained that to me, I'm like, I can snuff and create fire at will. I do have elemental attunement, so I can keep a torch lit and stay in the back like I planned on to, so I can see, and I can keep back to y'all, and Al's going to be up front, so he's going to be out of the light. So, and then if he gives a call, I can snuff it out immediately with my attunement to it. And so, instead of just kind of you keep concentrating on me, keeping me walking, when we get in a place where it might be a good idea to keep low light, which I know the Underdark you always need to keep low light, but I think when we get in the big caverns, that sounds like a good idea, but in these twisty, turny, might need to focus on what's in front of us, and I can just light a torch then.
Yeah, fuck it. Just use a torch. You got plenty of them. There's like 50, 60 of them between all of you. You can keep one permanently lit the whole time. Big flashing neon sign. Here I am.
Exactly. Let's do it.
I would totally. I would have. I was like looking at everybody's races. I'm like, I think everybody's got dark vision. And I'm like, I don't think the halfling does. So I had to double check that, and I was like, oh boy. Brother Echo.
Dark Vision's a level 2 ranger spell, so I don't get that for a couple more levels. So.
Yeah, you need to get like you need to get like a ring of dark seeing or something. We'll have to make something up for you. That'd be pretty cool.
Well, eventually I can gain dark vision as well. I gain the spell dark vision.
Yeah. Yeah, you get that at what, level 3, right? Or level 5 for a third. Is it third level spell or second?
It's a second level spell.
No, well. All right, so what are you guys
So we're
doing?
going with torches for now, then, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, until he gets, sucked up to the ceiling by something, then I guess we can give it a
The
shot.
100 dark mantles plop down on top of you and crush you to death. All right, so you guys are traveling. It's okay to use a torch here because you're going through a lot of small, narrow corridors and branching off. And Shushar, he's we gotta go this way, and he's leading you guys all over the place. And you guys stop a couple times, and you guys are able to fill up your water skins. There are some pretty beautiful mushrooms that grow in the Underdark, and I'll give you guys a couple more beautiful pieces of art that are in the book. And you can see a lot of this is fluorescent. A lot of these are fluorescent, and it does light up the areas of the Underdark. And that's one, for example. Here's another example of the art of mushrooms, and you can see some are huge. Now, Al, you would know about this type of stuff, so why don't you give me a nature check, especially seeing that this is one of your expertises that you're proficient in, and you can just drop one just in the regular chat.
Yeah, I'm proficient in survival, not nature, but I'll do nature.
Yeah, well, I mean, you
That's
are
intelligence.
pretty familiar with the Underdark as well.
Right.
So yeah, that there's these, especially what you had found with your role, for Shushar, you found a barrel stalk. Now this barrel stalk is a large. It's a huge, probably I'd say 6-7 foot tall, cask-shaped fungus, and you actually know that the water is contained inside of this mushroom. So you tapped it sort of like Edith would tap a beer keg, in Gauntlgrim or one of the other dwarven cities. So you cut a sliver in this fungus, and it actually has about 6 to 8 gallons of water, and that's how everybody's able to with Shushar refill their water skins. And then there's also all kinds of edible mushrooms or fungi, blue caps, fire lichens, ripple bark, trillimac, more of these water orbs, and then especially seeing that wood is very rare in the Underdark. There are Zerk woods, because Al's like rattling all these names off, kind of like showing off his proficiency of the Underdark and his knowledge and mushrooms and fungus. And he's mentioning about the Zerk woods, that these massive mushrooms are 30 to 40 feet tall, and you actually see a couple of these. And these provide not only wood, but it also has a lot of meat that's good for eating and a lot of water that's stored inside. So there's all kinds of different, especially in this area in the Underdark, as you guys are leaving Velkenvelv, you guys see all the different types of fungus that's fungi that's growing around. But then there's some more exotic ones that can make poisons and whatnot, and if you run into those, I'll also alert you of that.
Are there any that can make potions of dark vision?
I'm sure there's something in the Underdark.
With my herbalism kit, maybe I can fashion something.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I'm sure we could probably think of something. I'm sure we probably
can.
can.
To see if that's. I don't even know if that's a real potion. I don't know.
Everything is real.
Walk around with a mushroom that glows in the dark.
Yeah.
The great thing about playing D&D, nothing is off limits. I mean, you can do anything. We could make gnomish goggles if we want to let Brother EQ see in the dark. We can do anything we want to. There's no restrictions. Just because it's not in the Dungeon Master's Guide or the Player's Handbook or another supplement, we can always do whatever we want. That's the beautiful thing about playing a fantasy game. It's all in our minds. So absolutely, I'm sure you probably could concoct some type of potion. But if you think you got the recipe down, in your your survivalist book with all of your notes and stuff over your years of travel in the Underdark, sometimes things could go wrong too. So it could have a reverse effect. Maybe take a site away Maybe take a site away temporarily. Maybe make them grow. Maybe make them shrink. All kinds of weird effects could happen. Maybe set his hair on fire like an Azer or something. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Well, I'm
too.
not the one drinking it, so I'll be willing to try to make it for you if you want to try the product.
I'm good for now with my torch.
Okay, that'll work.
Don't take this the wrong way, Al, but my trust level right now, even though we came together to escape, Still don't know a lot about it. Navial, so my trust level is friend, but not that friendly.
Understood.
Wow. I like it.
I'll drink anything, just so you know.
Yeah, and the water that's in this this mushroom, it's very very clean water, very very cool water. I mean, it is actually kind of cool down in here in the Underdark, and some places are cool, but there's one thing that you distinctively can tell: there's absolutely no wind in the Underdark, none whatsoever, none at all. But temperatures do change. That's for sure. You've noticed that. All right, so what else are you guys doing as you're traveling around? What else are you
I
guys
think
checking
Kira
out?
just, yeah,
Mhm.
Kira's just busy talking to our companion friend basically the whole time and translating to the others.
And I'm trying to kind of keep a map going in case we need to backtrack or something.
Sure. Yeah. Basically, what what Shushar was doing, he was writing on top of one of your Sword Coast maps of the lands of one of your maps of Faerun, and he's basically just writing the areas of the Underdark of where it would be relatively to where you guys are on the surface. That's where you're at in the Underdark. There's different levels of the Underdark. There's the Upper Dark, the Underdark, the Lower Dark. There's all kinds of areas of the Underdark. It's just not the Underdark. There's all kinds of levels of the Underdark too. The Underdark, like I said, it extends from one end of Faerun to the other. I mean, some areas are miles beneath the surface. Some are, in areas that are much closer to the surface. So, yeah. It's a massive place.
Brother Echo with his torch is trying to keep it down low, and with his elemental attunement, he makes the fire on his torch low enough where he can see his Kira and Edith and Morven in front of him, but not blazing hot where it shines light on Al who's up front.
I gotcha. Philip, thank you again for the sub.
The
Zenark,
nice thing is that
thank you very much for the follow, Zenark.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Low. Like down low.
So I want everybody, as you guys are going now double wide through several of these corridors that have kind of led from being cramped up in single file to more of a double wide area. You guys have a little bit more breathing room now. And Al, I want you to drop a perception check into the dice tower for me. Oddlane, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it. Whoops.
How many spiders did we get?
How would you know I would do something like that?
Because it took you more than 3 seconds to respond.
Oh, yeah.
You're concocting something over there.
Yeah. Basically, as you guys are traveling in which is a more wide corridor, it actually opens up to, and you can see, both sides, both as you guys are traveling, sort of like a northeasterly way to Sloob. You come to this cavern that opens up. In some parts are 40 to 50 feet in width. And I'm going to put you guys on a map really quick. So there you go. You guys, I'll link up. I'll sync up the view to you guys too. Now you guys are in marching order. This is your marching order. You guys are just marching along, talking about going to the Kuatua town. Also Al, he is rattling off all of his knowledge of mushrooms and other fungus that, or fungi that, the fungi that grows in the Underdark. And then all of a sudden, everyone is taken by surprise as a very huge creature. And you know, this is as everybody gets up to about right here, towards the center of this area. All of a sudden, this huge creature flies down and swoops down, and this is a large creature. And I want to show you guys what this, give you guys what a little bit bigger image to what this thing looks like. Now this is one of the creatures of the Underdark, and as this thing is flying down, it has taken surprise of you guys. Now, as you guys are, I'll ask you guys this: when you guys are marching in, you know, single file order, you know, in the Underdark, I would imagine you would have your bows out, or I would imagine you would probably walk in with your, you know, your long sword or your two-handed axe slung over your shoulder in case anything jumps out at you, correct?
Yeah, because we know the drow are chasing us.
Yeah.
Be ready, you know.
Yeah.
The only time Edith is
Definitely.
going to put down her sword is when she's eating or filling up her water skin.
Okay. Well, yeah, you see this huge beast. Now I want everybody to give me a nature check. Just as a, right off the bat, this is what I see. Holy shit, is this, do I know what this thing is? Very nice. Holy shit, a couple 20s. And, oh wow, because I even rolled a 20 on my stealth check. That's why this thing gets surprised on you guys, and you guys are basically deer in the headlights for the first round of combat. So, very nice. I'll give you guys, you guys did good. So, yeah, a couple of you, Al, you know that this is definitely a Vrock, V-R-O-C-K. Edith, you as well, especially being a dwarf, you know that these are very stupid creatures, but they create carnage anywhere they go. And it's like this is a sort of like a hybrid between a humanoid and a vulture, and it's very gnarly looking. And basically, what you know of the Vrock, Edith and Al, I may give you guys a little bit more information than everyone else. I think that would possibly be nice. Alright, yeah, I'll send you guys a tell. And this thing is really screeching loudly. I mean, this thing is almost, and as this Vrock is flying towards you, you can hear its wings flapping, and as it gets closer, you can feel the wind coming off of the wings. And as this thing gets closer and closer, the ear-piercing sound of the screech is just almost too much to where you want to, you know, grab your ears. Nope. Alright, so there's a little bit more information for you guys, and you guys are basically taken by surprise. I am going to give the Vrock, seeing that it rolled a 20 stealth check, 20 plus. I didn't even give it any bonuses, and it beat you. So it flies in, and this thing is flying probably, I'd say about 30 feet above you as it swoops in and lands right here in front of Al and in front of Morvine. Now, as this thing lands, it does several things. The first thing that it does is as it really lands on the ground, it lets out this massive screech, this massive wail that just takes everyone by surprise. I mean, this screech is horrific. This sounds like 20 women screaming at one time, you know. And I mean, because, you know, wouldn't be like 20 guys screaming. I mean, a high-pitched squeal. So, all right, this is 20 feet, so everybody is within range. The Vrock has surprise. So we're going to make the Vrock have a surprise on round 0. And he is going to target everybody with this. Here we go, right off the bat, guys. Not messing around. All right. Now everybody is going to make a Constitution saving throw. And you guys don't need to do it. It's going to do it automatically right now. So all of the dice are out. It looks like Morvine, Edith, and Brother Eco, all of you are successful with your Constitution saving throw. Kara and Al, you guys fail your saving throw. So what happens now is you guys are all, Al and Kira, you are stunned until the end of the Vrock's next turn. So I'm going to put stunned on both of you. And that will be, whoops. That'll be stunned on Al and Kara. So Kara and Al are stunned. Whoops. Alright, so Al's stunned. Kara is stunned. Alright. And now I'm also going to go ahead and attack as well. Gets 1 attack. It's 2 attacks, but the Screech was its first attack. And so you 2 are stunned. Everybody else is okay. No damage is taken. And you all recognize this as a demon also. All right, so the first attack is going to just be a sort of like a talon attack. And it's going to attack Al. And it's going to attack you with advantage because it has the element of surprise. And holy shit, look at that right off the bat, a crit hit. Oh my god! So yeah, the Vrock hits pretty hard. So we'll go ahead and do some damage to poor Al. Oh, very nice roll on that. You only take 10. You only take 10 slashing damage from the talons. Out of 46 plus 3, you only take 10. I rolled 3 1s, so that's good for you. So he slashes Al with his talons, rakes him across the face, and Al is now bleeding from the face and the neck area. Alright, so that's it for the Vrock. You guys, we're all going to roll initiative. So, everyone feel free to roll away. We'll see where you guys land in the order, and maybe the Vrock will go again, maybe not. Alright, so very nice rolls. Brother Eco, what is your dexterity?
I got 17.
Okay, you get to go first. The Vrock is going to go after you.
Kind of like my movement slash flee action, I'm gonna drop I'm gonna lay the torch down pretty much where I'm at.
Sure.
And use my elemental attunement that I have to fire and kind of make it like go blazing hot so I can see like a lot better.
Okay, so I'm locking tokens now for combat, and what we're doing with this is I want to see your guys' paths. I want to see if anyone takes an attack of opportunity or anything like that. So you guys will notice that you can't move your tokens, and you're going to pull out this like a ruler. And anytime you guys want to turn, I just don't want a straight line going through all these diagonal squares. Every time you guys turn, like you just stopped it. If you want to go anywhere else, then stop, let go of it exactly, and then start dragging it again. You can do it diagonally, you can do it horizontal, you can do it vertical. So, okay, it looks like you're moving in 20 feet. I will allow that move. I'll accept it. You move in.
Well, I was just testing it. Like,
oh, okay.
Do it.
Sounds good.
Okay, how do you do that again?
You just take go like you're going to move the token, and you'll pull out this little ruler. and then you can move it different directions. So whenever you move it a couple squares, if you want to go up, then move it up. Then stop it if you want to move it diagonal. Stop it, then move it diagonal any way you want to.